We welcome to the show former vocalist of Vinegar Joe and twice nominated Brit Awards top female singer, Elkie Brooks. How you doing, Elkie?
I'm really well, Chris. Yeah, I'm really fine.
Great. You're going to be performing in Brighton on the 1st of February at the Theatre Royal. Are you looking forward to it?
I most certainly am. It's quite a long time since I have worked in Brighton. I can't remember, actually. It's got to be a few years. So I'm sincerely hoping I don't disappoint anybody. I think we did a good one last time, and, I always give my 100%, so, hopefully it'll be even better this time.
Your career has spanned nearly 5 decades, and in that time you have earned numerous awards and accolades. Who has influenced you?
Well, have you got a couple of hours?
Yeah.
Oh dear. I mean, they certainly go back. When I was a little girl, I used to listen to, I'm sure some of your listeners may have heard of the man, Frankie Lane. He was a big star in the 50s. People probably know him for the television series Rawhide. He sang the signature tune to that. And another really good singer called Johnny Ray. So they were really, as I was growing up, they were my two big influences. And then my brother, when I was about 12, got me an album for my birthday by Ella Fitzgerald. And I was off and running then. I thought she was a wonderful singer. And I learnt an awful lot by just listening to her singing and her records, and later discovered the likes of the wonderful Billie Holiday, and then Sarah Vaughan, Dakota Staton, Esther Phillips, and then the wonderful Etta James. Oh, it goes on. Mavis Staples, Gladys Knight. Oh, forever. You know, I could go on. I could talk for, as I say, a couple of hours about all the people that have influenced me from yesterday, and I'm still getting influenced by young people of today as well, of course.
You named some great singers from the past there. Who from today do you like to listen to?
I'm very fond of, the artists I just told you that I like, but, you know, there's some really nice people that are around today. I like the music of Katie Tunstall. I think she's a brilliant musician. Very, very fond of her. My son really is the one that I'm most influenced by, because he has all the latest albums that are going around, and we have sort of bands like McFly, Nickelback, Maroon 5. There was a girl band I saw of an amazing DVD the other day, Stussy. Oh, incredible. Oh, they are amazing. There's some amazing people out there, you know. I'm still very, very fond of the singing of Paul Rodgers. I think he's one of the greatest singers to come out of this country. And I've always got time, no matter what that man sings, he can sing the phone book for me. I think he's a wonderful singer.
You've recorded many great albums in your career. What's your method for writing a song?
Well, I've done 20 studio albums over the last sort of few years. The last 3 studio albums I've done with my eldest son, Jay, and he is a great, great influence on my writing. The best song I feel that I've written to date is on my current album, Powerless, a song called Dancing on the Tables, that, in fairness, Jay started. He actually put the track down, and it's a very, very sort of track that's influenced by you may not have heard of the lady Juliet Greco. That was her name. Girl from Ipanema. But yeah, I mean, all kinds of things. I try not to write too personally. I've been guilty of that in the past. Usually stories I find that are quite interesting.
Let's go back in time now to the swinging 60s. Is it true you were discovered as a talent show at the age of 15?
Well, it wasn't so much a competition. It wasn't quite like that. John Arden, who was a promoter, was just looking for talent. It could be, you know, comedians, dancers, jugglers, whatever. but I just went along on the Saturday morning, and it wasn't quite as a talent competition as such. He was just looking for artists that he could promote. And he thought I was very good, and he put me on the show that night, a show that he was promoting with loads of American acts that were very, very popular at the time in 1960. Though it took me many, 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 many years before I actually really got acclaim and chart success.
Before that happened, was you ever worried that it wasn't going to happen for you?
I never really thought about it. I enjoyed what I was doing, and I think that as I'm sure you do in your career, if you're enjoying what you're doing, the time just seems to go on and on and on. And for many years I did enjoy it musically. There were times when I didn't, and I thought perhaps that I ought to go and do something else. Certainly in the 60s, the early 60s, I thought perhaps maybe I should go home and go back to school. And I was always good at PE, and I was always good at cooking, domestic science. I thought, well, maybe go into something like that. But I continued, and eventually I did find some direction musically, and to this very, very day, I still enjoy it musically. Although I haven't had a record in the charts in 25 years, I've still been on the road, and I've been doing all sorts of wonderful shows, thoroughly enjoying myself, had lots of records released. If that's not what it's about, I just think the most important thing is to enjoy what you're doing, and if you can get a bit of money on at it as well on the way, so be it. Lovely.
Yeah, you're right, because when you love doing something that you do, you'll always do it, won't you, really?
Well, yes. I mean, I'm in a situation where I've got a reasonable fitness level for my age. I mean, I'm 67 next month. I do the martial art of Aikido, and I've done that for over 20 years, and that certainly keeps me going. I've just started jogging with my youngest son, who's going in for the London Marathon. He's really, really good, but bless him, he goes at my pace when we do our little jogs. He's brilliant, and I think if I hadn't started skipping 6 months ago, I certainly wouldn't have been able to do it. I recommend that to anybody who thinks they would like to start running, little jogging, canter jogging like I do. I think, start skipping and strengthen the knees and strengthen the ankles, which is what I've done for the last 6 months, and then it's not such a shock. I did a 5-miler with him the other day, and I felt really good after. It was fine.
5 miles? Oh, that's a long way.
Well, maybe get a skipping rope, Chris. Maybe that's what you ought to think about. It really is good, I saw an amazing DVD my son showed me today on the internet with this band, and God, these women, can they skip? God, I think they're in New York. I think it was a lot of young people that do that in New York, street dancing and things. It was fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, I'm just going to keep skipping and hope I can get just a little bit like that.
What do you think of TV talent shows? Do you think they are good viewing?
I think the auditions are fun. My son and I, we love those, but I'm awfully sorry. They take themselves, and the judges, of course, they all take themselves far too seriously, don't they? I'm afraid not for me. I do what I do. I do it on a very, very professional level. Everybody thinks they can sing. Yes, okay, we all have voices, but we have to work on it, and some people are better than others. Everybody thinks they can be a star overnight. Well, maybe some do, and maybe some get there. The one or two people that do get there, it's great, and I'm very, very pleased for them. But to be honest, it's not my kind of viewing. I'm not really into it.
Do you think singing comes naturally to someone, or is it through practice, or a combination of the two?
I think it does take a certain amount of natural ability. As far as back as I can remember, I had that. I've always been able to sing. And it may have been inherent in me because of my grandmother, who apparently was a brilliant singer, musician, played wonderful piano, classical piano and violin, Maud Newton. So maybe I took it from her.
You have an autobiography coming out later on in the year. Was it exciting putting it together?
To be perfectly honest, I never wanted to do it. Got persuaded to do it by a great friend of mine, Wolf Pine, and also my husband, Trevor, which I've said so in the foreword, really, because somebody else may have come along and written an unauthorised autobiography and maybe got it all wrong. So I thought it was probably the best thing to do.
You want to tell people what really happened?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's taken a good few years to get it together, but I'm pleased with it so far, though, as I say, it's in its editing stage.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to that coming out. All right then, Elkie. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome, Chris.
Elkie Brooks will be performing in Brighton on the 1st of February at the Theatre Royal, and also in London on the 24th of Feb at the Canagan Hall.